more maybe than Miami in this game, but I don't think they thought, that way to the tune of a 7-0 score at half. Both teams had a couple of opportunities to put some more points on the board. Both teams were turned away. So, 7-0 is where we stand, and it'll be interesting to see the way Miami comes out to play. I'm actually even more interested to see the way the FIU comes out to play in a second.
I think we were discussing it before halftime, that if Miami hadn't scored that touchdown, it could be potentially psychologically devastating for the Hurricanes to have a 3-0 or 0-0 score at halftime. And FIU has, if not for a tip pass and an interception, this game could be tied at 7-7.
It certainly could be, and it's strange to think about, but these things kind of have a way of working themselves out, and I expect Miami to take over here in the second half and kind of wear down FIU, but I also want to see it first. Even though I suspect it'll happen, I want to see it.
Yes, if I were a betting man, I think I would put my money on Miami, but it's a good thing I'm not a betting man. This is going to be an interesting second half, as Miami has placed the ball on the tee. Interesting to see if that'll blow off. Brian Monroe is going to kick, and Miami will be kicking right to left as we're viewing it up here in the press box. And here's the kick. It's a bit of a line drive to about the 5-yard. Oh, no, it's going to carry out of the end zone. FIU will start at the 20-yard line. A line drive kick, not fielded by anybody, straight out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Brian Monroe's kicks, for the most part, have been pretty solid. They've been good today. He's kicked it out of bounds a couple times, which is inexcusable off of a kickoff, but he's been getting it into the end zone and starting FIU out on the 20-yard line.
That's the only thing you can ask from a place kicker, is get it out of the back of the end zone. If you can do that, you've got yourself a pretty good setup. And FIU will start, since it was a touchback, right between the right and the left hash mark at the 20-yard line. They've got two backs in the backfield split behind the quarterback and two receivers to the right. Looks like Brandon Merriweather over there on the right-hand side for the Canes. Handoff stopped in the backfield, and that's number 54. Taraz McCray in there very quickly to stop that running play. The FIU offense has been leaning on their running back thus far today, number 32, Julian Reams, but he got nothing there.
No, he didn't, and McCray has been a guy on the line who's really stepped up and started playing well. And they're rotating a bunch of guys through on that line, and all, are bringing something to the table for Miami.
FIU, two receivers to the left, one to the right, one man in the backfield. The quarterback drops straight back, looking downfield, fires, and it's deflected by the D-line. Incomplete.
It's Calais Campbell who got all 6'8" and his hands up to knock that one down as it tried to cross the line of scrimmage. So bring up a second or a third and long situation for FIU.
That's always a huge advantage to have that height on the D-line. You can deflect a lot of those passes, just play volleyball almost, knocking it down.
Remember the first time I ever met Calais Campbell, the first thing I said to him is, do you play basketball? Because when you see someone 6'8", you don't think, they're a football player, but he gets up there and he knocks it down.
It's going to be the same formation, to the left, one to the right, one in the backfield. 3rd and 11 from the 19. Dropping back, a lot of pressure brought from the D-line, and that pass is incomplete, but there's a flag down in the backfield. The yellow flag thrown by the referee, and that does not bode well for the Miami Hurricanes.
It was Campbell again in the backfield applying some pressure. We'll see what the call is here.
It's always weird to see that number 81 to Calais Campbell in the backfield, and that is going to be a pass interference call on the Hurricanes.
I believe it's on Glenn Sharp.
I believe that penalty is the ball.
Yep,
here's the official call. Number 4, he called it exactly right, Jay. That was Glenn Sharp, the cornerback, with the pass interference call. That will move the ball ahead for the FIU Golden Panthers to the 33-yard line and give them a first down.
I think it's a tough call, and Glenn Sharp doesn't like it one bit. They're actually going to... I thought they were going to take him off the field, but he's just moving out wide to cover the receiver.
And it's one to the left, one to the right, one in the backfield for the FIU Golden Panthers here. 1st and 10 from the 33. Here's the snap, the play fake, and the throw is complete to the right-hand side, and a big gain out to the 47-yard line by number 88, Andy Anderson. That was just a little bit of trickeration, a little bit of a handoff fake The quarterback rolled out to the right and just got it right over the D-line and to Andy Anderson for a big gain.
Yeah, Anderson just kind of leaks off of, a would-be block to set up the play action. It was Baraka Atkins in the backfield, but just over him, getting the ball away. Nice pass by Padrick and a big gain.
FIU using an offset eye, 2 receivers to the left-hand side, fullback in motion to the opposite side of the offset. Handoff, nothing doing. He looked right straight ahead, but got nothing as the D-line just clogged him up. And that was John Beeson, the linebacker, number 2 in there for the tackle.
Yeah, I've never liked a delayed handoff or counterplay against a defense like Miami. They're quick and they're aggressive, but they don't very often over-pursue the ball. So I don't think that play is going to work 9 times out of 10.
I think you're right, Jay. If you've got a quick defense, you can't keep that ball in the backfield too long. I set split wide receivers for FIU, the fullback in motion. Quarterback drops back to throw, gets it off, and that is raked in by the FIU receiver. That was, scratch that. There was a juggle and an incompletion for FIU. That looked like a completion for a good while, but the receiver could not reel it in.
It was Moses Hinton, the tight end, who was unable to pull it in, Matt.
So that incompletion will bring it to 3rd down. 3rd and 11 from the 46-yard line for the FIU Golden Panthers. As they head to the line, we've got wide receivers split to the left and right-hand side in an I formation in the backfield. There's motion from the fullback. He's going to go to the right and line up on the line. Quarterback drops back to pass. Looking, throws to the right. It's a completion, and Brandon Merriweather will not allow any advancement of that ball. Number 1, Chandler Williams with the grab. Gain to about the 49 of FIU. It's 4th and 8 now. Yeah, the 49.
Sorry there, Matt. Williams is really just pads or kind of safety valve right there. He just runs a quick little hitch, takes 2 steps and looks inside, and if nothing's there or there's pressure, it's going to go to him. But Brandon Merriweather all over it makes a nice open field tackle.
And now FIU to punt. And that's going to be Bruce Johnson, I believe, it's a blocked punt! Blocked by the Hurricanes! A huge play by special teams. Number 44, Colin McCarthy, in there with a huge block. It goes out at about the 39-yard line of FIU. And that's the kind of play that could turn a whole game around.
Certainly is. McCarthy, the true freshman out of Clearwater Central Catholic. It went off of his hands and took a crazy carom off of a helmet, I believe, and went all the way out of bounds from the middle of the field.
It looked like that ball went out of bounds on the fly. It was a huge carom off the helmet, as Jay mentioned. The ball, it's officially 39 on the board, but it's closer to the 40-yard line for the Hurricanes. The ball to the left-hand side of the hash marks. Kyle Wright, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and 1 man in the backfield. Looks like Javaris James. Kyle Wright drops back. Quick pass out to the left-hand side, and that is Sammy Shields with the grab, and he's down at about the 36-yard line. Gain of about 3 or 4 on that play.
Yeah, trying to get Shields on the outside there and have him beat 1 man and maybe have a little room to work with, but a good job to contain by 2 defensive backs of FIU.
So it will be 2nd and 7 from the 36. 1 man in the backfield who will move to the side of Kyle Wright, who's now in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Waiting for the snap. He has it now. It's a clean snap. Throws to the left-hand side, and that is Lance Leggett with a shake move. Gains about 2 or 3 off that little juke there to the 19-yard line. Scratch that, the 24-yard line, and that is a first down for the Miami Hurricanes.
I like what the Miami coaching staff is doing with Kyle Wright right now. He's not complete a lot of passes in the first half, but now they're giving him a lot more higher percentage looks to spread it around the field. Leggett right there, he's just going to do a very simple curl route, and he has some cushion. Wright puts it right on the money.
This receiving core has a lot of speed, and if they get free from that juke move, they can burn it right down the field. 1 man in the backfield, shotgun formation, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Kyle Wright looking downfield, almost knocked out of his hands. He's scrambling to the right, looking, trying to make something happen, throws it downfield and away. It's an incomplete pass, but field general Kyle Wright looking for something there, directing the play and throwing it out of bounds.
I like that play from Kyle Wright right there. A lot of times we've seen him get when he feels the pressure start backing up, and he keeps backing up and backing up. There, he has the presence of mind to get to the outside, start moving laterally, at the very least get out of the tackle box so you can throw that ball out away and not take an intentional grounding penalty.
And he was waiting until the very last moment to throw that one away, and ultimately did. So now Miami will line up a similar formation, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 man in the backfield, and Kyle Wright under center. He's changing something up at the line. He's waiting for it. And here's the snap. Handoff to Javaris James, looking for something and gets stopped up. The FIU defense was all over that.
There's a late flag, Matt. It looks like it's going to be a dead ball, personal foul.
Chris Smith with the tackle, the push out of bounds, but there is a flag down on the field, and I believe that's going to be a late hit on FIU. The referees are consulting about it, but I couldn't think of what much else it could be besides a personal foul.
I think that's going to give Miami a pretty cheap first down. Here's the official call.
That penalty is against FIU. I believe that is a personal foul, as what is called.
Oh, it's a face mask.
Oh, it is a face mask.
The linebacker just got his hand underneath kind of the earpiece almost of Javaris James and was lifting his helmet up.
Good call, Jay. We're waiting for the official call over the microphone. It is a face mask against FIU. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it will still remain second down, which is, although it is a penalty against FIU, it could have been much worse if that was a 15-yarder or a personal foul late hit. So that will advance the ball to the 19-yard line for the Hurricanes. It's 2nd and 5 now. And it looks like we will have 1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Kyle Wright, shotgun formation with Javaris James to his left. FIU applying some pressure here. Kyle Wright throwing to the end zone. Just out of the grasp of the receiver. I believe that was Sam Shields.
It's Khalil Jones in the end zone.
Khalil Jones, thank you. And we have a flag down on the play.
Might be a late hit.
Yeah, that could be the personal foul we looked to call last time. Flag down in the backfield. And since it was a passing play, it's very far in the backfield. Likely a late hit. Yep. That's exactly what it is, a roughing the passer call on the FIU Golden Panthers. Kivanis Bowie with the late hit.
Bowie's been great, except for that today, so he came on a little bit of a late blitz, and Kyle Wright had Khalil Jones dead red. I think Khalil Jones probably should have caught that ball in the end zone, but he just doesn't get up high enough for it.
Khalil Jones has to climb the ladder for that one, just out of his grasp, incomplete. So now we have it 1st and 10 after the penalty. 1st and goal from the 9. Handoff to James. Stopped up towards the middle. And there is a flag down right towards the beginning of that play. Could be a hold. Javaris James running towards the middle there, gained maybe 1 or 2 after FIU just clogged the center. And correction, that's an offsides on FIU. Did not see that coming. So that will be another 5 yards against the Golden Panthers and move Miami even closer to the goal line. They were lined up in the neutral zone on that last play, which is a 5-yard infraction, and they will replay the first down. So now the ball will be placed on the 4-yard line. It will be 1st and goal from the 4. Just a little clarification, since it was at the 9, it can't be 5 yards, it's half the distance. Practically the same. It's a 4.5-yard penalty instead of a 5. So now Miami lined up towards the left hash mark at the 4-yard line. They're going more of a goal line formation. 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right, but they're in tight. And now they all pull in close, and a handoff to Javaris James running to the left, looking for something to happen, and a loss of about a half a yard there on that play as he took it out wide to the left, but nothing doing from the FIU defense. With 9:44 left in the third quarter here, Miami, it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 5. They're trying to drive here and score another 7 points to complement the 7 already up on the board. 7-0 in favor of Miami.
Yeah, Miami tries a little toss play to the left with James, but just a good job by FIU to stack the lines. They're good against the run. I mean, it's very obvious.
This FIU run defense they've been good all season with, they have the highest average of tackles for loss in the NCAA, and they've had a spectacular showing here tonight. One to the right, one to the left for Kyle Wright. He rolls right, looking for a receiver in the end zone. Touchdown, Miami Hurricanes! That's James Bryant, number 45, in there for the grab and the touchdown.
James Bryant's second touchdown reception of the season. And it was a nice little play. He was in the backfield. He moves out. Kyle Wright rolls out with him, and he just beats his man and sneaks in. The referees are kind of powwowing, and now there's a little bit of extracurricular stuff in the middle of the field.
They are kind of yelling and pointing at each other. All three of them are going to have to get in there and break this up. FIU is upset about something, and Miami is not having it.
I think one of the FIU players is yelling at a couple of the guys on his team. There's just no reason, if you're FIU, to try and start anything here.
FIU has been playing superbly thus far. They have nothing to be particularly upset about. On that play, they were just beaten to the right-hand side. We have a call here. We have an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Miami. I did not see that flag at all on the field.
It's against James Bryant, who made the catch in the end zone. So they'll try to kick the extra point here, and then it'll be assessed on the kickoff. Yep.
That's the call from the ref, 15 yards after the kick. And I tell you what, Jay, I didn't see anything particularly egregious from James Bryant. I'm not down there. It could have been verbal, but I did not see anything showboaty or worthy of a 15-yard penalty based on his actions. So Miami will line up for the extra point here. Brian Monroe back to kick for the Hurricanes. Here's the snap. It's clean, and the kick is up, and it is good. And that makes the score 14-0 Miami. And we have a fracas on the field here. The fans, oh my gosh, we have a huge tackle by the FIU player. The benches are clearing. The benches have cleared here at the Orange Bowl. There is a huge melee about the 20-yard line. There has been a complete loss of control of the field. We have fights at the 10, the 20, and the 30-yard line. A fracas has unfolded here at the Orange Bowl. A time bomb has exploded apparently, and this is one of the most unbelievable things I've seen. We're going to throw it to break here, and we'll try to explain it. We're on 90.5 WVUM.
I'm Frank Scafidi, Director of Public Affairs at the National Insurance Crime Bureau. Becoming a victim of a hurricane may be impossible to avoid, but you can avoid being victimized by dishonest contractors and adjusters. Educate yourself against unscrupulous operators. For more tips about avoiding disaster fraud, visit the NICB website at www.nicb.org. To report disaster fraud, call 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB.
The Wellness Center at the University of Miami is a proud underwriter of WVUM Sports. The Wellness Center boasts over 10,000 square feet dedicated to exercise equipment as well as an indoor track and pool. The Wellness Center also offers several programs that range from dance and yoga to wellness education. For a list of all programs as well as information on intramurals, the Wellness Center can be visited in person at 1241 Dickinson Drive or on the web at www.miami.edu/wellness.
I'm Frank Scafidi, Director of Public Affairs at the National Insurance Crime Bureau. Becoming a victim of a hurricane may be impossible to avoid, but you can avoid being victimized by dishonest contractors and adjusters. Educate yourself against unscrupulous operators. For more tips about avoiding disaster fraud, visit the NICB website at www.nicb.org. To report disaster fraud, call 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB.
Covering more University of Miami sports than any other station. We are 90.5 FM, WVUM, Coral Gables, Florida.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl here, and things have changed drastically since the beginning of the second half. 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Miami scores a touchdown off a pass. James Bryant, the receiver, a 15-yard penalty is enacted for unsportsmanlike conduct. We go to the extra point. It's good. And then a melee ensues. Both benches clear. Punches are thrown. Tackles are made. According to our spotter, it appears the first semblance of a fight was a kind of push or a shove by number 24, Marshall McDuffie Jr. We cannot confirm that for certain, but based on our spotter, it appears that was the call. After that, insanity ensued on the field, both benches clearing. The referees had lost control for easily 2 minutes. Both coaches pulled their teams back to the sidelines. They've been talking for about 5-10 minutes. The coaches met at midfield. It appears we're not going to have a situation where we're going to send
we don't know yet. I mean, the referees are still meeting that. It's interesting though. Miami on the side of the field. Paul D is down there. I mean, they pulled the whole team together, like you said. They were talked to. Then Miami comes to the middle and puts their helmets over their heads and starts jumping in a circle. Now, to me, this is kind of good and it's bad. You like to see that sort of passion from a team, but I'm not sure you like to see that sort of display after a giant fight has occurred in the middle of the field. I don't know how I feel about that, man.
This reminds me very much of a situation in the early 90s before, during the Dennis Erickson era, going to San Diego State University, playing there. A huge fight was involved. Both teams were sent to the locker rooms. It was a black eye on the Miami program for a very long time. A game you could usually consider a throwaway, still remembered by me and many others to this day. And we're going to get a notice.
The scoring update.
Yes, the scoring update. That drive before the fracas, it was 5 plays, 39 yards, 255, a 5-yard pass from Kyle Wright to Bryant. The referees are still meeting. Security has taken to the field at the left end zone. It looks like 8 or 9 Miami police officers are standing in the actual end zone, preventing any kind of extracurricular activity towards that side. And we are really still here in a waiting pattern. I count 5 flags on the field, but they're still discussing, and we're going to send you back to break until we find out what is happening for sure here at the Orange Bowl. You are listening to 90.5 WVUM, The Voice.
It's a medical breakthrough, a doctor's prescription to help prevent cancer and improve survival rates. But you don't go to the pharmacy, you go to the supermarket for fruits, vegetables, and other high-fiber vegetarian foods. Side effects may include increased energy, healthy weight loss, and lower cholesterol. For a free recipe booklet, call 866-906-WELL or visit cancerproject.org. This message brought to you by the Cancer Project, committed to preventing cancer and improving survival.
The Big Cheese is proud to be an underwriter of WVUM Sports, serving the Miami community since 1984 with a variety of pizza, subs, and Italian dishes. The Big Cheese is a sit-down restaurant that also offers takeout and delivery and features hurricane memorabilia. Located off of US 1 at 67th Avenue, the Big Cheese can be reached at 305-662-6855 or on the web at www.bigcheesemiami.com. That's the Big Cheese.
Hi, my name is Joanne, and I have mannequinism. Well, I did have it, but I'm not a mannequin anymore. Doctors said over 75% of my body turned into plastic. They said it's because I wasn't active in my community, because I didn't vote or volunteer or I don't know. All I wanted to do was cry, but I couldn't because I had plastic eyes.
Protect yourself from mannequinism. Log on to fightmannequinism.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl here in Miami, Florida. You're listening to 90.5 WVUM, and our format has changed a little bit from sports to news now, as a huge fight got started on the field about 5 or 10 minutes ago now. There was a touchdown by the Miami Hurricanes and a penalty and sportsmanlike conduct called on the Canes. There was an extra point attempt, and then following that, a scene of complete chaos evolved on the field as we had a huge fight involving both benches. The referees are still discussing this now. The fans are getting very worked up about this. And we have Miami Bike Patrol now circling the stadium. And this scene has just evolved into chaos.
Well, as far as I can tell, Matt, it looks like the head referee is on the phone or on the headset with upstairs in the booth, where they're probably looking, where did this all start, looking at the tape, who threw punches, who was trying to pull people off each other. I would not be surprised, in fact, I'm almost certain that there will be ejections as a result of this. So I think just right now the referees are trying to figure out who is going to be ejected, what the situation is going to be. I mean, there's got to be offsetting penalties here.
We are looking to the right, the open end of the field, and a cotillion of Miami motorcycle police officers are moving towards the Orange Bowl. That is the east side of the stadium. It looked like 10 or 12 motorcycles are moving their way towards the stadium. I really think there's a fear here that not only on the field but in the stands, this could get very ugly.
Yeah, you hope not, Matt. But I mean, it's interesting. You kind of think of this as like, an inter-city rivalry. FIU, not a great football team. Miami probably a little bit frustrated because they're not as good as they are used to being. And it boils over onto the field, and it's unfortunate. You hope it doesn't boil into the crowd. I mean, yeah, you yell things at Florida State players, you say things about the Gators, but in the end, it's football. It is what it is. So it's kind of unfortunate. You hope nothing happens in this crowd. Everybody, though, is on their feet at a Miami FIU game, and from that perspective, certainly an interesting scene.
It is definitely not something we expected. It's interesting to note the media coverage, the buildup of this in the local media was that this is a friendly rivalry. It's something just budding, and a lot of times rivalries don't develop in 1 game, 2 game, 3 games. I think we can look at this now, and the game next year will be very interesting to see how this all factors into the potential contest.
You hope, though, that Miami hasn't shot themselves in the foot with this. You hope that the players from Miami are responsible not to be throwing punches, not to be tackling FIU players. You hope that out of all of this, no one is suspended, no one, has to miss significant time if you're a Miami fan, and the same thing for FIU. Although, we can't confirm this for sure, but it did look like Marshall McDuffie Jr., the defensive back, initiated the whole thing. Once the teams got together and started pushing and shoving it back, it was inevitable that both teams were going to run out into the field. They did. Coaches tried to get in the way, but they couldn't be too effective against more than 150 football players.
Yeah, it's really important to note, like you said, I don't think we're going to be hearing much of Marshall McDuffie more tonight if this game does in fact continue. But there is much blame to go around for this. Certainly, like I said, there was no physical action, but something happened over there towards the FIU sideline off that touchdown, caused by James Bryan apparently. And it's important to know what is his role in this. There's a lot of interesting angles to look at this, as it appears there's a large police patrol moving into the FIU Miami's border over there towards the right end zone. They have almost clogged the stairway there, the men in black and blue, the Miami Police Department. And this one of the oddest scenes you will ever see at the Miami Orange Bowl.
I'd have to say. I mean, I don't think anyone in their wildest dreams thought that there'd be a full-out brawl. I mean, how often in football, at any level, does a brawl break out? I mean, you see it happen in baseball. That's a little different. You don't see guys over 140, 150 guys in shoulder pads rushing at each other in the middle of the Orange Bowl.
You've got, like with baseball, you've got 27 guys, 40 if it's September. With football, you've got 150 guys on the sideline maybe. We're getting an announcement.
Now an announcement being made that, of course, poor behavior will result in an ejection from the Orange Bowl, but it looks like, I think, we're getting close to a decision here. The coaches are talking together on the Miami sideline. Miami players were stretching a moment ago, trying to stay loose. There is, still 24 minutes of football to be played here.
That's very important to note when this game does continue. We're only 6 minutes into the second half here. We got a lot of game to go. But right now, the prominent story of this game, the thing you're going to be hearing about tonight, doesn't matter if Miami scores 100 points more in this game or if FIU scores 100. It's going to be this fracas that started around the 10-yard line. The referee still confronting, looks like Coach Larry Coker down there, talking with the referees, and Coker now heading back to the sideline. The referee's heading over to the FIU sideline to talk with Coach Don Strock.
And now the UM coach is kind of powwowing. Let's see if they go to any specific players to take them off the field on the Miami side.
I'm almost certain that there are going to be some hefty ejections from this game. I don't think it's going to be one or two players.
And it looks like Clint Hurt and Randy Shannon are rounding up a couple of players. Number 27 for Miami, Carlos Armour,
it looked
is
like
being taken off.
I also saw number 22 walking away, Bruce Johnson.
Yep, it looks like Bruce Johnson and Carlos Armour, as well as another player.
It looks like maybe a 34. I don't want to jump ahead. Yeah, that's a 34. That's Charlie Jones. And they get a rousing ovation as they leave the field here.
And we'll see how many people go off on the other side for FIU. You kind of, when you saw those three sitting together, got the feeling that perhaps it was them. Because they were not really participating in the stretches, maybe knew what they did. Here comes the referee.
Here we go. Here, I believe we're going to have an announcement from the head referee of this game, who is Jerry Magallanes.
Yeah, he got it. Had his work cut out for him tonight. He's writing down the numbers now, and here comes the call.
It appears they will not announce ejections. There are numerous ones to go around, and we could be here for a while. And I see an object thrown on the field from the west end zone. That could be a problem too, potentially, if they get backed up towards that west end zone. And Miami will now take the field, and both teams look pretty invigorated. Miami will be kicking off from the 20-yard line.
Well, it looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 FIU players making their way to the locker room. Unfortunately, I can't get any of their numbers.
I see a 6-1.
I
see a 6-1 towards the left.
Yeah, it's tough to tell from here. So hopefully we can keep you updated with the names of those players as we go on. Number 61 would be Ronnie Silva, an offensive lineman.
I believe I saw number 82.
Well, I mean, it's tough to tell from here, so try not to speculate too much, but we do know that Carlos Armour, Bruce Johnson, and Charlie Jones have all been ejected from Miami.
And so we are waiting for FIU to take the field here after a very odd set of circumstances here at the Orange Bowl. Let's give you a quick recap before we get back to the game for those of you just joining us. 9 minutes left in the second half. Miami scores a touchdown to the right-hand side. Kyle Wright throwing to Antonio Bryant. 6 points go on the board. There's a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct against Bryant. Therefore, the kick 15 yards off the kick. We go to the extra point. The snap, the kick's up, it's good. After that, it appears that there was a push by Marshall McDuffie Jr. based on our spotting. We cannot confirm that. There's a push possibly by Marshall McDuffie that appears to have set up a fracas, a fight that lasted at least 3 minutes. Both benches cleared. We've been waiting about 15 minutes now. We take the field after at least 9 ejections, 3 from Miami, 6 from FIU. The ball is spotted at the 20. Brian Monroe to kick off for the Hurricanes.
And it's interesting now, there's no leeway for any sort of contact now. You know that with attention the way it is, players are going to be ejected. Interesting to see if anything else erupts since there is so much time left in this game.
Here's the kick from Brian Monroe towards the right-hand side of the field as he's kicking off. It carries over the back's head. He picks it up and is running. Gets it out to the 17, 18-yard line. Tackle down at the 20. And we see a little pushing afterwards, after that tackle. And there's a flag. There's a flag. It looked like it bounced off a player, but there are 2 flags down at the field now.
It looked like number 85 there's no number 85 for Miami, so coming in late. Maybe Sam Shield, it's a close number, but I don't want to implicate him if he didn't do anything. 84, Richard Gordon came in late and made a push in the back, and there's just no reason to do that after what happened.
It's silly. It's just silly.
It's beyond silly. It's stupid. I mean, there's no reason to do that after, what's just happened. And we will have a full list of ejections, I think, for you in just a moment. Number 15 of the kicking team.
So that will be assessed against Brian Monroe, the kicker. So that will move FIU ahead 15 yards now. And they were pinned back around the 20-yard line. They now have the ball on the 36-yard line, taking it 1st and 10. Once again, those who are just joining us, it's 14-0 in favor of the Miami Hurricanes. FIU receives that kick and will start at the 36-yard line with a 1st and 10. And they will line up with 2 receivers to the right and an offset eye in the backfield. Clock will roll and FIU takes over possession. You got motion from the fullback. He moves to the right-hand side. The quarterback, a play action, throws to the fullback, it appears. That looks like number 85, I believe, who would be...
It was 88, Andy Anderson.
Thank you very much, Andy Anderson. I got the 8 and the 5 mixed up. That was Andy Anderson with the grab. Takes it to the 46-yard line, which will be good enough for a 1st down. And we are seeing definitely a level raised in intensity as that tackle was a hard hit to the legs. So now FIU will line up another 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the right-hand side. FIU on the left hash mark. The fake little bootleg. That pass is incomplete. Intended for number 5, Jeremy Dickens. That pass is incomplete to the right-hand side off that little bootleg. 2nd and 10 from the 46. We have just over 8 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Miami on top 14-0. FIU now heads to the ball. Split wide receivers to the left and right. 1 man in the backfield, 2 tight ends. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Looking for something. The quarterback is going to run straight ahead and gets tackled at around the 50-yard line by number 50, Daryl Sharpton. And so that's a gain of 3 yards in that play. Takes us a 3rd down. 3rd and 6 from the 50, from midfield. And the FIU offense has come out of this break looking pretty alive. The running hasn't been too bad, and the throws have been pretty sharp thus far. 3rd and 6 from the 50. Split wide receivers. And we have a stoppage of play by the refs. There's no call yet of what exactly it is. Dead ball foul. We got a false start from FIU. That will push it back to the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 11 from the 45-yard line of FIU. And just as I opened my mouth saying FIU is looking a lot smoother in their offense, they commit a false start penalty.
Yeah, I mean, just can't hurt yourself. You're losing by 2 possessions here. Miami's defense has played great the entire game. Giving them 5 yards is, obviously not what you want to do.
And here we go. Here's the 3rd down play. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 man in the backfield. Patrick takes the snap and is engulfed by the Miami defense. And it looks like number 99, Kareem Brown, got in there, and I believe Baraka Atkins also had a bit to contribute on that hit. It appears like a loss of 1. Now scratch that 2 on that play. So it will be 4th and 13 from the 43, and FIU will punt. Let's see who's going to be in for the Hurricanes here. Sounded like, Rashad Jones back to receive the ball. Kick is up, drifting a little bit. He's going to let it sail out of bounds there. The ball will be spotted at the 24-yard line in a first down for the Hurricanes. We're going to take it to break, and the Miami Hurricanes will be out on offense here on 90.5 WVUM.
Most medicines available today wouldn't have been possible without the participation of volunteers in studies of new drugs and procedures. We're grateful to the millions of people who've taken part in clinical trials and the volunteers in more than 80,000 studies this year. If you're considering giving the gift of participation, learn more at smartparticipant.org or call the Center for Information and Study on Clinical Research Participation at 1-888-CIS-CRP3 for a free brochure and information.
This broadcast of WVUM Sports has been underwritten by Book Horizons. In their 21st year supporting Hurricane athletics on The Voice, Book Horizons offers textbooks, UM merchandise, and school supplies. Located on US 1 across from campus, Book Horizons can be reached at 305-665-6161. Again, that's 305-665-6161 for Book Horizons.
Well, AISI, it was NBD.
You don't know what your kids are saying online, or who they're saying it to. A lot of times, neither do they. Last year, 1 in 5 children was sexually solicited online. To protect your kids' online life and to get a full list of acronyms kids are using, call 1-800-THE-LOST or visit cybertipline.com. Help delete online predators. A message from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl in a game whose dynamic has greatly changed with Miami on top 14-0, but following a large fight on the field. Miami will be taking over at the 25-yard line. And the offense has taken the field here. Just about to get 6:14 on the board and rolling. Miami setting an eye with split wide receivers. Here's the snap. Kyle Wright handing off. I believe that's... Oh, I got fooled on that one. That was a play action out to Lance Leggett on the left-hand side. He rolls it in and heads out of bounds at around the 34-yard line. A gain of about 9 on that play.
Well, Matt, we got a partial list of ejections for UM, but as soon as we got them, they had number 42 on the list. There's no 42 on Miami's roster. So Sports Information told us just to wait until they get a roster from both teams of who's been ejected, and then we can know for you. It also said that Derek Morris and Chris Barney, number 71 and 79, were ejected, but again, there is also a 42 on that list. So
yes, please take that with a grain of salt. We'll get the full list to you as soon as we can. So we head back to the game. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 in the backfield for the Hurricanes. Kyle Wright dropping back, looking downfield, still looking, fires across the middle, and that is complete. And to the 40-yard line, which will be more than enough for the first down.
Again to Lance Leggett. I believe that's the 3rd or 4th ball Leggett's caught in this quarter now. I mean, this quarter feels like it's taken forever, but, looking his way. And that was one of the criticisms I think that you saw of Kyle Wright, is that he didn't really seem to have a great kind of rapport or connection with Lance Leggett, but he's getting some good looks to Leggett in this game.
The key to this Miami offense is right to Leggett. If they can get that going, then things will be a lot smoother. 2 receivers to the left, 1 tight end, 1 man in the backfield. A handoff to James, who is bottled up behind the 40-yard line. A loss on that play of about 2 yards back to the 38-yard line. So it will be 2nd and 12.
It was Alexander Bostic, the 3rd, who made the hit.
So that loss of 2 after the tackle by Bostic to the 38. Miami still towards the right hash mark. Miami on top now, 14-0 still, with 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. And now they will line up with split wide receivers and 1 man in the backfield with 2 tight ends on the line. Here's the snap. Wright drops back. Quick throw to the right. And that is complete. I believe that's Sam Shields, who breaks the tackle and gets all the way across midfield to about the 48-yard line good enough for another Miami first down.
It is Sam Shields who does a good job of not going out of bounds and grabbing a couple more yards, moving the chains.
So once again, that gain, that is marked at the 47-yard line now after the 15-yard grab by Sam Shields. First down for the Hurricanes in FIU territory. 1st and 10 from the 47. Miami heading to the line. We're going to have 2 wide receivers to the left, stacked heavy on the left-hand side. 2 men in the backfield in an I formation. Here's the handoff. Here's the snap, a fake handoff, and a long throw to Lance Leggett. He's down there. Oh, and Lance Leggett misses the grab. It appeared to go very near his hands, but he did not reel it in, and that's an incomplete pass.
You know, I'll take another look at the replay here when I can, but that looked like a ball that Lance Leggett should have caught. He had easily beaten the coverage because the defensive back was turned around on the play, didn't even know the ball was up in the air. Taking a look right now, Matt, and it just goes right through his arms and out of bounds.
And just as we start talking good about Lance Leggett, he missed the grab like that, and that's key for the Hurricanes offense.
Well, I mean, it's a tough catch in his defense, going downfield over the opposite shoulder. The ball coming in at the angle but it was a catchable ball. He should have made the catch.
So now we've got a similar formation now. 2 men to the left, 1 in the backfield for the Hurricanes. A handoff to Javaris James. He beats the corner, it looks like, but he's going to get stacked up around the 47-yard line, around the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play, and we'll head to 3rd down. He ran to the left there and appeared to get around the corner for a gain, but the rest of the defense got there and collapsed in on it, and no gain for the Hurricanes off of that run.
It's Tyrone Moss, Matt, coming into the game. We've seen him spell Javaris James a couple of times. He had a nice 8-yard run in the first half, but nothing doing there, as you said.
So it looked like they got maybe about a half yard off of that to the 46.5, but officially it's still 3rd and 10 from the 47. We're going to have 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 man in the backfield with Kyle Wright. He's in the shotgun formation. And here's the snap. He's going to look downfield for the throw. Scrambling, trying to evade tacklers. He's going to make a run. He dives down around the 41-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards off of that play, but it will not be enough for a first down. It will be 4th down and 4 from the 41. Stretch that 4th and 2 from the 40 is the spot now, but still not enough. And the punt team will head out. And the punt game has been one of the very big highlights for the Hurricanes this year, as the Miami punters had some spectacular kicks. And here's the punt. It's up, and it looks like it will bounce around the 2-yard line and into the end zone, and it will be marked a touchback and moved out to the 20. So as we stand now, it's 14-0 Miami. FIU will take over on the 20-yard line when we come back on 90.5 WVUM.
A message from the National Meningitis Association.
The disease spread so quickly, within hours, my son was dead.
My teen's arms and legs were amputated to save his life.
We didn't know teens and college students are at greater risk from meningococcal meningitis.
We learned about immunization 2 weeks after our son died.
My child did not have to die. Health officials now recommend immunization for adolescents and college students. Call your doctor to find out about preventing meningococcal meningitis. Don't wait. Vaccinate.
The Wellness Center at the University of Miami is a proud underwriter of WVUM Sports. The Wellness Center boasts over 10,000 square feet dedicated to exercise equipment, as well as an indoor track and pool. The Wellness Center also offers several programs that range from dance and yoga to wellness education. For a list of all programs, as well as information on intramurals, the Wellness Center can be visited in person at 1241 Dickinson Drive or on the web at www.miami.edu/wellness.
Melting polar ice was a dirty look. Shrinking glaciers, a nudge. Then dying coral reefs pushed us, hard. Rising ocean temperatures and extreme weather, an uppercut. Then record-breaking heat waves hit us right where it hurts. Has it occurred to anyone that maybe the Earth is trying to get our attention?
We can still reduce greenhouse gas pollution. To find out how, go to fightglobalwarming.com. Brought to you by Environmental Defense, the Robertson Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl. FIU taking over at the 20 after a touchback off the Miami punt. 2 wide receivers split, 2 men in the backfield, and it's going to be a throw from FIU across the middle, and a huge hit. That was dynamic by Kenny Phillips, number 1, got in there quick and did not allow any gain off of that grab.
Certainly didn't look like a missile coming across, and just lowered the shoulder and made a nice hit.
That is a painful hit there by Kenny Phillips. Gain of 3 off the catch nonetheless. It's 2nd and 7 from the 23, but a devastating hit by Miami. So now FIU heads to the line. The wide receiver split once again. 2 men in the backfield in an offset eye. The fullback in motion to the left. Here's the snap. Looking downfield. And we have a fumble. A fumble by the quarterback, and it is recovered by the Miami Hurricanes. Fumble forced by Calais Campbell. And is recovered at the 14-yard line, it appears. And a huge turn of events for Miami as they now take possession over in the red zone.
3rd forced fumble in 2 weeks. It's only credited as the 2nd in 2 weeks because they ruled one an incomplete pass last week, but it probably should have been called a fumble by Calais Campbell. He's just doing a great job of getting into the backfield and timing his hit to knock the ball loose.
Calais Campbell, the quarterback for FIU, Josh Patrick, took way too long with the ball back in his hand. Calais Campbell just got in there and knocked that ball loose. It's spotted at the 15-yard line. Miami, 2 receivers to the right. The backfield in an I formation behind Kyle Wright. 2 tight ends for the Hurricanes on the line. Here's the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Tyrone Moss. That is, he is dragging the FIU defender all the way to the 3-yard line. And that was Jeremiah Weatherspoon who tried to reel in Tyrone Moss, but it appeared he had him going for about 5 or 6 yards after the first contact. And Miami takes over 1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, now Leggett and Khalil Jones are going to come off. They're going to get all the tight ends in there. And with Tyrone Moss still on the field, maybe we see him plunge in for a touchdown.
Yes, when you see the team pull up their wide receivers and they're going to line up in a goal line formation like this, you're expecting 3 plunges into the end zone. And if you can't do it by then, you don't deserve to have it. Here's the handoff to Moss. He's going to go to the right just a tiny bit. Stretches for the goal line. And he's going to be marked down at the 1-yard line, even closer than that. It appears the half-yard line. Miami going to have a 2nd and goal from the half-yard line, if there were a line. That was a run. He looked like he was going to take it up the middle for a second, then kind of checked himself and ran to the right and got a couple of yards, but not enough for the end zone, even with the stretch. So Miami noses the ball just inches away from that precious goal line. 2nd and goal from the 1. In an I. Here's the handoff. No, scratch that. It's a fake. Looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Miami! And that grab is by Chris Zellner, number 88, the tight end. And that will put Miami up 20-0 as touchdown Tommy fires. And the Hurricanes take the 20-0 lead. That was an excellent play fake by Kyle Wright. Just threw it right into the arms of the receiver.
A nice little rollout from Wright. He maybe makes, a tough decision to throw across his body into the middle of the end zone for Zellner, but don't argue with it. A touchdown.
The point after attempt is up and good, and it appears we will have no extracurricular activity after this one. Both teams head back to their benches. So once again, Miami on top, 21-0 with 38 seconds left in the 3rd. We're going to keep it here before the kickoff, and that was an impressive drive by Miami. It was 15 yards, but Tyrone Moss back in the game. Definitely good news for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I mean, you like to see Tyrone Moss get back into the swing of things, take some hits, see how that knee feels when he gets knocked down. Obviously, there's been some concern about how well he is because he hasn't played in the last couple of weeks. Games he probably should play in since they pretty much cleared the benches, so to speak. As far as running backs went in those games. But yeah, Miami now scored 14 points in this marathon 3rd quarter. And they needed to come out and they needed to make this sort of a statement, and they needed to put some points on the board. Now, the question is, how do they finish up in the 4th quarter? How many points do they score in the 4th quarter? How do they punctuate the end of this game?
Yeah, I think Miami has pretty much committed themselves to keeping the first stringers on the field for the rest of this game. Even though it's 21-0, The defense has been spectacular. The offense needs to get in its rhythm. They look great on the past couple drives, but they want to make sure they keep that rhythm going into much bigger games coming up on the schedule. They have Duke next week, and then 2 huge games back-to-back, Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. So we will have Brian Monroe place the ball on the tee. It's a windy night, but it's only blown off once thus far. Monroe stepping back, looking for the kick. The wind is at his back, blowing out of the northeast. Brian Monroe running towards the ball, and here's the kick. It's got some air under it and carrying towards the end zone, about 6 yards deep. And FIU is just going to kneel on it and take the 20 yards. So FIU will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 20. Brian Monroe definitely earning his money tonight. A couple of touchbacks off the kicks. I don't think they've had a legitimate run back yet.
Well, as far as I know, you don't get paid for collegiate athletics, so...
Figuratively,
right.
Of course.
Earning his scholarship.
Yes, he's earning his scholarship. Every single dollar of it tonight. So that last scoring drive, it was 3 plays, 15 yards, 136 off the clock, 1-yard touchdown pass to Zellner. That's where we stand, 21-0. FIU takes over at the 20. Offset eye in the backfield, 2 wide receivers split. Hand off to the running back, and he's going to scamper for a gain of about 6. That was a handoff to number 32, Julian Reams, who we've heard his name a lot tonight. And he got 6 yards off that play. Scratch that, make it 7 officially. It's going to be 2nd and 3 from the 27. And that will conclude the third quarter. As time runs out, the score is 21-0 in favor of Miami. We're going to head to break, and we'll bring it right back here afterwards. You're listening to 90.5 WVUM, The Voice.
In Florida, approximately 2,500 women and men will die this year of breast cancer. I'm Manny Diaz, Mayor of Miami, and I'm joining the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month and AstraZeneca to raise awareness of breast health and breast cancer. I encourage you or the women in your life to establish an early detection routine. If diagnosed with breast cancer, please adhere to your treatments as prescribed by your doctor. It is the best weapon to prevent a recurrence. For more information, go to cdc.gov or mbcam.com.
Looking for more from The Voice? Visit our new redesigned website at www.wvum.org. Check out our interactive special events calendar, staff bios, sports and news headlines, and more. The Voice online at www.wvum.org.
Every Wednesday night from 10 to 1, join the Metal Revolution. Join the legions led by your host, Bobby, and the elder statesman of the revolution, Don. Don't forget the one, the only.
Hi, everybody.
Kevin Warhat. At the one place you can count on true metal, no false metal. The Metal Revolution. On WVUM 90.5 FM.
Make way for metal.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl here. We're in the fourth quarter of this Miami FIU game. Miami on top 21-0. And to take you home for the rest of this evening is play-by-play guy Dennis Brown. Dennis?
Yeah, Matt, did I miss something? Last time I was here, it was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, but a lot of action going on. Miami up 21-0, and FIU with the ball to 25. Handoff, it goes and is tackled for a gain of 1 yard. Beeson on the carry there. On the tackle there. Julian Reams had the carry there and picked up a yard. Brings up a 3rd and 3 here. Just starting off the fourth quarter. Miami on top, 21-0. Calais Campbell continues to try to get the crowd involved. He is the cheerleader of the defense, always very excited, always into the game. 2 wideouts for FIU off to the left. They got double tight ends to the right. Reams in the backfield. Drop back to pass. Throw is completed for a first down. The pass goes to complete to Andy Anderson. And that's good for the first down for FIU.
Andy Anderson has been a clutch receiver for FIU today. A lot of big grabs for him, keeping drives alive.
And it's Josh Patrick's job to get FIU down the field and try to keep themselves in the game. FIU has seemed to lose the momentum ever since the Brawl broke out midway through the third quarter. 2 wideouts again to the left. H back in motion. Reeves in the backfield. Handoff to Reeves. He's got a back to the line of scrimmage. Multiple Hurricanes in on the tackle, including Therese McRae. I want to take this opportunity to remind you that the Big Cheese is a proud underwriter of WVUM Sports. The Big Cheese is a sit-down and take-out restaurant that is also available for delivery and has been serving the Miami community since 1984. Big Cheese offers a variety of pizza, subs, and Italian dishes and can be reached at 305-662-6855 or at www.bigcheesemiami.com. Ball placed at the 31-yard line, 2nd and 10, FIU with the ball. They got 2 wideouts, 1 out to the right, 1 to the left. Kirkpatrick is under center. He'll drop back to pass. He's got some time, throws out off the fingertips of the intended receiver and falls incomplete. It was intended for number 89, Moses Hinton, the tight end.
Moses Hinton made the effort there, but it bounced right off of his fingers and nothing doing for FIU.
As the wind continues to pick up here at the Orange Bowl, it progressively gets worse and worse. I think that actually hindered Lance Leggett's ability to catch a possible touchdown ball at the end of the third quarter. It looked like the ball kind of took off on him with the wind. They'll bring in 3 receivers for this 3rd down and 10. Ball at the own 31. Under center, drops back to pass. Receiver out. It'll be a running back out. Dump off to Reeves. Reeves will get back to the 30-yard line. Will lose about a yard on the play. Patrick didn't have much there, tried to get the little dump off pass, but Miami was all over it, and will bring down a 4th and 10 with 12:52 to go here in the fourth quarter. Miami on top, 21-0.
And FIU just their offensive progress that they had made in the first half and into the second has just vanished.
Wide receiver Rashawn Jones is back to receive the punt. Haven't seen much out of him so far this year. The punter for FIU is Chris Cook. He gets the snap, and he's able to get away a pretty good kick here with the win. Fielded at the 28-yard line, runs to his right, got the 30, he's got 35, jukes and jives, gets to the 40, up the sideline, pushed out of bounds at the 44, and that is where Miami will take over on their own 44-yard line. A nice little run back there by Rashawn Jones, a member of the Hurricane family that is not seen from that often.
It's very important to note Rashawn Jones is in the backfield because Bruce Johnson got kicked out in that melee earlier and looking to possibly hold his spot or even share time with Bruce Johnson with a good kick there.
We're going to break here quickly, and we will come back and get you the full list of ejections from this game. You're listening to the Hurricane Voice of the University of Miami, WVUM 21-0 Miami.
What, the red button?
Yeah, hit the red button.
All right. So Tuesday nights?
Tuesday nights.
Okay, 10 p.m. the Hip Hop Shop. We want to close the points.
Yeah.
Okay, it's returned.
It's back?
Yeah, it's
back.
It was gone. It was back for a while. And it's new night. Same time, new night.
Same time.
New DJ. New talent.
Awesome.
New music. Anything else?
Tuesday is funny, but it's still awesome.
It's like Sex and the City funny? Can we say Sex and the City?
Why not?
WVUM Hip Hop Shop returns with your host, Bent Room, Tuesday nights 10 to 1.
Melting polar ice was a dirty look. Shrinking glaciers, a nudge. Then dying coral reefs pushed us, hard. Rising ocean temperatures and extreme weather, an uppercut. Then record-breaking heat waves hit us right where it hurts. Has it occurred to anyone that maybe the Earth is trying to get our attention?
We can still reduce greenhouse gas pollution. To find out how, go to fightglobalwarming.com. Brought to you by Environmental Defense, the Robertson Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl. Dennis Brown alongside Matt Bunch. Here are the 13 players ejected from the game. For Miami, 5 were ejected. Bruce Johnson, Carlos Omar, Charlie Jones, Derek Morris, and Chris Barney. We'll get to the FIU players here in a minute as Miami will take over. Is Kirby Freeman under center now. 2 wideouts to the left. Kirby takes off. He'll hand it off to Tyrone Moss, who goes up the middle. He's got nothing there, met by numerous FIU defenders. He will get maybe a yard on the play. And let's get to the FIU ejections. There are 8 players. Wide receiver Chandler Williams, Lionel Singleton, Marshall McDuffie Jr., Chris Smith, John Ellis, Manny Wellington, Samuel Smith, and Javaris Pennerton. lot of guys for FIU, more than Miami, that play bigger roles, especially Chandler and Williams is their big wideout.
Kirby McDuffie had a huge part in that defense, just throwing. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. Kirby takes under center. He's got Sam Shields out to the left, one right out to the right. Kirby's going to audible here. He's got Tyrone Moss in the backfield. He'll drop back to pass. First pass attempt for him. It goes right through the hands of Ryan Hill. It was perfectly thrown to Hill, and Hill just could not come down with it. Miami's had a numerous amount of drops today and close catches, and this one, it was another time where Ryan Hill just dropped the ball. There appears to be more action over near the Miami student section. A lot of fans are still getting into it. They brought a lot of cops in earlier from the Brawl, but I can't see what's happening. But it appears to be some extracurricular activity going on for Miami. Kirby Freeman will take it back in the shotgun. He's got Tyrone Moss back with a 3-step drop. He'll run forward. He's got nowhere to go. But he'll get through a couple guys. He was pulled down by his shirt to about the 46-yard line, which will be short of a first down. And Miami will be forced to punt here. Just some quick stats. This was from the end of the third quarter. Travaris James had 11 carries for 36 yards. Kyle Wright was 14 for 22 for 117 yards, 3 touchdowns. Leggett, leading receiver, 6 catches for 70 yards. Julian Reams had 15 carries for 37 yards. Josh Padrick is 9 for 20, 71 yards, 2 interceptions. Leading receiver for them is Andy Anderson, 3 catches for 29 yards. Brian Monroe's back, he'll punt. It gets away a beauty and will be called for a fair catch and made at the 15-yard line, but will be hit after the fair catch had been called for on Miami. We will see it is number 26, Anthony Reddick, made the hit there after the fair catch was called for. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty tacked on. And that will bring the ball out to the 30-yard line.
I tell you what, I did not see that. I'm kind of not the best line of sight here. The referee obviously has a better view, but I didn't see the fair catch call.
I will vouch for him. I did see the fair catch. He did call for it. And, in a situation like that, you just have to be careful with those kind of things. I mean, Miami's in the driver's seat, but you don't want to let your emotions get the best of you. And in a game like this, where we've already seen one brawl, an action like that could create much more tension, much more problems. It's just you have to be careful of what you're doing, basically.
You're very right, Dennis. It's very important not to have something explode here, because a lot of times towards the end of games, that's when the brawls usually happen, not in the third quarter. So Miami needs to be very careful not to cause another huge melee.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break here. It's 10:36 to go in the fourth quarter. Miami on top 21-0. You're listening to Student Voice, the University of Miami, WVUM. Welcome back to the Orange Bowl. You're listening to Hurricane Football on WVUM. And this WVUM broadcast of Miami Hurricanes football has been underwritten by Book Horizons, located on US 1 across the street from campus. Book Horizons offers textbooks, school supplies, and Miami Hurricanes merchandise. Book Horizons can be reached at 305-665-6161. That's 305-665-6161. FIU with the ball at their 30, drops back, and almost a near interception by Miami there. Number 52, Tavares Gooden, had a chance to pick that ball off and batted it around a little bit. Could not come down with it. Bad job there of decision-making by Josh Padrick, the FIU quarterback. He had no spot to put that ball.
Yeah, that was a very questionable throw, and you can tell how close he was because his teammates came over and consoled him after that miss. That was a clear interception dropped by Tavares.
That's why they're playing on the defensive side of the ball and not on the offensive side of the ball. But FIU will take 2 wide outs and they'll throw them out to the right. They got a tight end over to the left. One running back in the backfield. Handoff will go to Reams, who's the running back. He gets up to the 37-yard line, falling forward, and that'll bring up a 3rd and about 5 for FIU. Clock about to hit 10 minutes to go. It's Miami on top, 21-0 on FIU.
And FIU now coming back to bite them, their reliance on the running game. As when they run, the clock continues to run. They're trying to hurry it up a little bit, but if they can't get the pass going, it's going to be very problematic.
We'll see what Josh Patrick will try to come up with here on this 3rd down and 3. Ball will be placed at the 38-yard line. Again, 2 wideouts, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff goes to Reams. He's hitting the backfield and will not get much farther. He gets back just shy of the line of scrimmage. Initial contact made in the backfield, I believe, by number 50, Daryl Sharpton. And other Hurricanes came in on the tackle, bringing a 4th down and 3. And FIU is not going to go for it here. More or less, kind of conceding the game. It's hard to get 3 more possessions in this game, especially the way Miami's been playing now. And they're just going to play it safe and punt it. Though Miami will bring a lot of pressure here, and the safe punt formation's been brought in. Rashawn Jones is back to receive the punt. And we have a flag down. Looks like we might get a false start on the offense. And it will indeed. It'll bring it back 5 yards, and it'll be a 4th down and 8. And they'll be kicking it away from their 28-yard line. Chris Cook, again, is the punter for FIU.
That was James Black with that early jump, and 3 flags came out immediately.
So Chris Cook will set up the punt again. Rashawn Jones remains back to receive. He's standing at about his own 27-yard line. Chris Cook receives the snap, gets away a punt, shanks it a little bit down the left side. It'll bounce. Hurricanes will not touch it. Takes an FIU bounce inside the 30 down to about the 28, where it will be downed by FIU. Bowie down there to make the grab for FIU. Ball will be placed at the 28-yard line, right hash mark from Miami. And the clock will start now with the change of possession.
And just a quick note, Dennis, we do have the official attendance numbers from Miami. And this game tonight has been attended by 51,130 people. There's a little bit of doubt whether the FIU people could pack this stadium too, and it turns out there was a pretty good turnout, much more than what was expected.
Heel and Khalil Jones out to the left. One wide receiver out to the right. Kirby under center. Kirby Freeman throws. It's complete to Sam Shields. Sam Shields ducks out at the 40-yard line. And Kirby Freeman completes his first pass of the game. This will be valuable playing time here for Kirby Freeman. We talked about in the pregame. Kirby has not looked that comfortable with the offense this season. He's the only other scholarship quarterback at the University of Miami. Kyle Wright is a junior this year, and if he opted to, he could leave early. And you have to get Kirby Freeman ready for that, or the possibility of any time that Kyle Wright could go down. This time you'll have the 2 wide routes to the right, 1 to the left. Kirby Freeman steps back to pass, drops, he's complete. Sam Shields again, he makes a deep move and gets out to the 50, 45, 40. He will go down to the 20, down to the 10, and down to the 8-yard line. A great job there by Sam Shields, able to make it down to the 8-yard line. Made a great move, making a defender miss in the open field. Finally taken down by an FIU player, able to get back on the play. And the ball will be placed at the 8-yard line for Miami. A big first down by Sam Shields.
Sam Shields made a mountain out of a molehill there. A simple 10, 12-yard gain, a little deep move, got towards the sideline, got around his defender, and a huge game for the Hurricanes, and they're in the red zone once again.
Check that. The ball will be placed at the 7-yard line, left hash mark. Lance Leggett checks in the game for Sam Shields, who is undoubtedly tired. Kirby will take the ball under center with 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. He steps back to pass, throws to Leggett. Leggett catches it. Touchdown, Miami. He initially fumbled the ball, but was able to regain the control of the ball in midair and come down with the touchdown reception. Lance Leggett's second catch of the game in the end zone, and it will make it 27-0 Miami.
That was a very interesting grab by Lance Leggett, a little bobble, but he held on to it. And Kirby Freeman, I tell you what, he looked very smooth in that drive.
And Petty will come on to try the extra point. And it's up. And it is indeed good by John Petty, making it 28-0 here with 7:27 to go in the fourth quarter. We're going to keep it here. And Miami now has a commanding lead. Matt, what have you seen so far from Miami in the second half? And more importantly, after this brawl that's kind of sparked some life compared to earlier in the game for Miami?
Their offense, clear and simple, their offense is clicking. The problem the whole year, it really particularly hasn't been the defense. They've showed up to games, but the offense they get a little bit of momentum and then they cough it up, or an interception, a fumble, a turnover on down. The past 3 drives, they have been precision perfect. Kirby Freeman gets in there, the backup quarterback. He's in there, 3 passes, huge gains, a throw to the end zone, Lance Leggett making the effort, holding onto the ball, not simple drops, not throwaways. They're scoring points, they're keeping momentum. And if you're in a hang with the big boys like Miami has always done and seeks to do, you gotta not make those stupid mistakes that kill drives.
John Houston Whitten is back to return the punt along with Dante Owens. It'll be Brian Monroe who will kick off for Miami. 4 completed touchdown passes for Miami today. That was the second to Lance Leggett. James Bryant had one earlier in the game, as well as Chris Zellner, who had been battling some injury problems earlier in the year for Miami.
Miami has doubled their touchdown passes during the season tonight.
Miami hadn't had Kyle Wright, or a quarterback, quote unquote, complete a touchdown pass to a wide receiver until today. The only one that had been completed was Levon Ponder last week to Sam Shields. Brian Monroe's ready to kick it off, and it's away. It's a line drive kick that will be fielded at about the goal line. Whitten with the ball. He'll take it out to the 10 and makes a defender miss, but he will be knocked down at the 15-yard line. Numerous Hurricanes in on the stop there, including number 44, Colin McCarthy, who had the block of the punt earlier in the game for Miami, and FIU will take over at the 16-yard line.
Colin McCarthy is earning his special team stripes tonight. A fantastic performance from McCarthy. Anytime you can block a punt, that usually makes your game, but a great tackle there to keep the ball behind the 20.
And it's important for Miami to keep getting Lance Leggett involved in the offense. He has looked shaky at times today, and even on that touchdown pass, he only played limitedly last year, but showed great potential the year before. He needs to step up now with Jenkins out, so FIU will take over. Looking to pass. It's across the middle, complete, and taken down at the 26-yard line. A completion there to Jeremy Dickens for FIU. Patrick there with a nice little pass on the slant. We have the drive information for you here. It was 3 plays, 72 yards, 1 minute and 7 seconds. The pass was to Lance Leggett, and obviously the point after was good. FIU has a first down here. Ball placed at the 27-yard line, 6:27 to go here. Reams will get the ball on a toss. He gets to the end. Not much there. Taken down for a couple-yard gain. Flag late on the play, towards the end of the play, not late after the play. And we'll have to wait to see what the call will be here on the game as some of the fans start to make their way out of the Orange Bowl and try to beat some of the nighttime traffic. They've seen their fight and they're done.
Yeah, it'd be pretty unimaginable for FIU to come back with 6:21 left and score 28 points on Miami. I was a little bit worried about that flag. It
is a holding call on FIU.
I saw a push out of bounds and a flag. I was a little bit worried about a late hit there, but it is a hold on FIU.
So the ball will be backed up to the 17-yard line. 1st and 20 for FIU, 6:21 to go here at the Orange Bowl. Miami on top 28-0. Josh Patrick will be under center. He's got 2 wideouts to the left, including Dickens and Ashlyn Parker. He's got 2 tight ends to the right, and he'll go back to pass. He's got pressure and will be sacked by Miami back at the 10-yard line. Great job there of Miami, their front 4, getting some pressure up there. The sack is made by Dwayne Hendricks for Miami, and the defense continues. They want a shutout. They have a hard time being able to getting shutouts recently, always seems to be one play that kind of just gets in the way of that, and they're going for it tonight.
Yes, they are, and that was a textbook sack right there. The tackles focused on the center, headed towards the center of the line, broke right through and knocked Patrick down on his behind.
Patrick will take it under center. Same formation to the left, 2 tight ends to the right. He's got one behind him. He hands it to Reams. Reams gets to the 10-yard line and will be taken down there by a host of Hurricanes for no gain. Looked like in on the stop there for Miami was Anthony Reddick. Or Colin McCarthy again is announced as the tackler. I think Reddick was near the play.
Colin McCarthy getting his name known tonight.
Just a quick update for